It's that time of year, the dreaded SLOAs. But hopefully the spreadsheet that I've designed will help make it easier for you. The spreadsheet that I've designed will help you calculate the class total. The class total is the fifth column of the SLOA sheet, and then you will still have to calculate the fourth and the sixth, but the biggest problem with calculating the SLOAs are the class totals. So the spreadsheet will calculate this column. Okay, so now what we're going to do, we're going to start with the blank SLOA spreadsheet, and I'll show you the specific things on there, and then we'll start filling one in. Okay, so in column number 1, we have the students. So this is where you're going to list the students. This spreadsheet is designed to hold 20 students. Okay, we also have along that first row, you have a list of numbers. If you're teaching math 91 or 90, we have a calculator part and a non-calculator part. This is not true for math 92. And so in math 91 or 90, the first set of questions will be the non-calculator parts, and they will be listed in that first row. So NC stands for non-calculator, and then it tells the problem. And so we can scroll across that row, and then we start with the calculator problems, and that's 1 through the number of problems on that exam. The other thing that you'll notice on the spreadsheet is the last column, which says, well, actually it's the second to the last column, which says grade. As you're grading your students' exams, I encourage you to have the spreadsheet open while you're actually grading. And if you're grading a paper and pencil exam, as you're putting in the points that the student has earned on any given question, the grade will automatically calculate. So even if you leave, if the phone rings or you're burning dinner and you have to stop at a particular question, if you enter it in, you know where you have stopped and you can proceed from that. The last column on the spreadsheet is students, and it's a duplicate, but that duplicate helps make it easier for you to figure out whose grade it is, and I'll show you how to use that in 1 second. And now I'm going to scroll down to the end of the spreadsheet, and we have the total points. These total points, or total, are the number of points that the class has earned on a particular question. So as you fill the students' grades in on any individual exam, the total will change, reflecting the number of students who have gotten, the number of points that students have gotten on that particular question. Now line 23, which says points, that line is telling you the number of points given for the particular problem. Okay, so if we're looking at column B here, column B and line 23, points are the number of points for that question, which is the non-calculator question. And again, the question is also listed on line 24. Again, that's just a repeat, so you'll know which question you're doing. So let's start filling in a class list. So I'm going to do this in one big jump, but you're going to do this one by one. And so you can actually enter the students' names. And so I just did a cut and paste from another group. And what I'm going to encourage you to do is then take that list of names that you've put in column 1 and copy them, and then paste them on that last column, or second to the last column, actually it's the last column, where it says student. Come back and do a control copy, and then do a control V, control is in victory, and you'll paste those students' names back in, so that when you get to the end of the spreadsheet, you don't have to go back over. You'll actually see what students' names correspond to the particular row. Okay, so now we're going to just do start entering a student's grades. So let's say we're looking at this first student, and on the non-calculator part, that student, let's say he got 1 point on that. He got that problem right. And so you just keep entering the points. The second problem he didn't get right, so he entered a 0. Third, he got a 1. And we can continue on entering his points. I'm going to think this student is really a good student. I just skipped one. You can easily go back and hit tab and then enter again. And I'm thinking the student's really good, and so the student did pretty well. So we're just entering the questions. Again, you can go back, it's not that complicated. Missed a few, got a few. Okay, so we've now completed the non-calculator part, and we can continue on with the calculator part. I'm just entering scores. He didn't do well on that question too much. Let's see here. Why did I see the whole screen? In the meantime, I've just expanded the screen here. Again, if you're looking at line 23, you can always tell if you've entered too many points. Let me just show you an example of that. So for question 3 is worth 2 points. So if I put in 3, I should always just look at that last line, line 23, to make sure that I haven't entered too many points. And so that's a safety check there. So I'm going to enter 2 points for the student. That student got, well, 32 is way too big. And so I'm just going to continue filling in for the student some grades here, possibly what they could have gotten on the test here. Almost done. That one was a 6. Again, it's really good. And again, that one I entered too many. That's a 4 at the bottom there, right here. And I entered 5, so I need to go back and change that. The person got 3. And you can always click back up. Let's see. And now we are done. We're at line 19 and we're done. And so we now have that student's grade. That student's grade is a 63. And you can go ahead and calculate this for each of your students as you're actually grading, entering the information into the spreadsheet. And so now I'm going to show you what happens when you have a completed spreadsheet. So we've now calculated all these grades for the students, and as you can see, that last column then tells all the students' grades. And then if you look at, actually this is a shorter one, but if you look at then the line that has your, what line was that? Bear with me. Okay, so if you look at your line 25 on your spreadsheet, you'll see something that looks like this. You will see where you say SLOA 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, or how many ever SLOAs for your particular exam. Those are now the, as I said before, those are the answers for this column, the total class score on your SLOA sheet. So on your completed SLOA sheet, put block number 1 would be this answer right here, okay? And then SLOA number 2 would go in the block here, and then all you have to do is calculate the max points, and that max point and the percentages. The max points are calculated by multiplying the number of students who took the exam by the max points, and then your total class score, you've gotten that from the spreadsheets, and what you're going to do with that score is make that the numerator of this column, and this will be the denominator of the fraction, and that will give you the percent. If you have any questions, please send me an email or talk to Petal and she'll get in touch with me. Thank you.
What is your email?
My email. It's not Peggy Winfield at BCCC. It's training. That's TRAINING, the number 4, the letter U at Mr. Is. That's MRIS.com. Thank you.